Welcome friends to our next part of the tutorial. In this part of the tutorial, we would be talking about the bitwise operators. As we all know that C supports a full feature of low-level language as well as the high-level language. Basically, it was created for the low-level language only, the C language. And as a result, C contains an operator known as the bitwise operator that work on the bits, that is 0 and 1. Unlike the relational or the logical operator that returns 0 and 1, it returns us with the binary number, that is 01001. So let's see how does it work. On this screen you can see a list of bitwise operator. So let us first talk about the AND operator. So let's start. On this screen you can see that A has been assigned a value of 123 bitwise and 21. So how are we going to find the value that we are assigning to AND? On the right side of the screen you can see that 123 had been written in binary and 21 also. Basically what does this bitwise AND does is that in the first row you can see that 0 0 is rewritten as 0, while in the fourth row you can see that 1 1 is here rewritten as 1. What basically it does is that it rewrites the bits as 1 if both of the binary numbers contains 1, else if it is 1 or 0 it is going to rewrite it as 0. So basically we get 17 as the answer of the value of A. Now let us talk about the bitwise OR. As you can see that we have considered the same value 123 and 21, but in place of bitwise AND we have used bitwise OR. So basically what is the bitwise OR is going to do is that if there is at least 1 as the bit in any of the two, then it is going to rewrite it as 1. Suppose in the first column we can consider that it is written 0 0, so it is again rewritten as 0. In the second row it is 1 and 0, since there is at least 1 1, so it is rewritten as 1. And in the fourth column you can also see that it is 1 bit and 1 bit, so it is again rewritten as 1 bit. Unlike the AND bitwise, the OR bitwise require at least 1 bit to be rewritten as 1. Now let's talk about the bitwise XOR. As you can see that we have used the same value 123 and 21. What basically the bitwise XOR does is that it first finds the bits whether it's 1 and 0, then it rewrite it as 1. That is, if it finds 1 and 0 only or 0 and 1, then it is going to rewrite the bits as 1. Suppose in the first column you can see that 0 and 0 is written, since it is not of the form 0 or 1 or 1 and 0. See, so it rewrite it as 0. In the second column you can see that 1 0 is written, since it is of the form 1 0, 1 is also present and 0 is also present, so it rewrite it as 1. In the fourth column you can see that 1 and 1 is written, since 0 is not present there and it is not of the form 1 0 or 0 1, hence 0 is written. Basically it rewrites the statement as 1 if it's find 1 and 0. So it is what the job bitwise XOR does. Now let us talk about the bitwise NOT. What basically it does is that it reverts the bits. Like if you can consider the given binary number on the screen and you can see its complement, that is the 0 is reverted to 1 and while the 1 is reverted to 0. In earlier days it was used for the file security, but nowadays you can know it can be easily cracked. Hence, it does what Bitwise not, it just revert the bits. You can follow our next tutorial to learn about the left shift and the right shift. If you liked our video, just hit on thumbs up, like and do share and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thank you.